Hello everybody, my name is Bryce Machine Bates from Team Evil Geniuses, and this is going to be a replay review brought to you by evilgeniuses.net. Today's replay is going to be a Zerg versus Vile Spanichua, and I just want to go over holding early thirds and playing aggressive against early thirds in basically the ZvZ matchup with Lingbane pressure. So let's go ahead and speed through the beginning here. Pretty standard openings. Myself, I tend to open with the early hatchery first builds. I know it's a tad risky against like a 6 pool or like a 10 pool drone rush, but even those can be held, and it basically puts you to where you have an early economic advantage, but you have to play defensively. So that's sort of the advantage of playing hatchery first, whereas if you play like early pool or early gas pool play, you're forced to sort of do damage, and so it comes down to who can play the style, perfectly or not. Like whether I'm going to lose drones and play it passively enough, or whether he's going to end up getting a couple drone kills in order to pull himself into the game. And I basically sacrifice map control because they're always going to have this early speed, but that's completely fine. So I open with a 15 hatchery, 17 gas, 17 pool. It's a very standard build. It's great to hit timings off of, because you're with this early extractor, you're going to have your speed very quickly, and off of 2 hatcheries, when you can afford 2 queens like this, mass speed link timings are very scary to deal with as an opponent to this. So as we see here, he's doing the standard 15 pool, send 4 lings to your opponent's base, try to pick off some drones. Because of the later gas before pool, he's able to get in here but not really do too much damage. Just kind of forces me to have some decent micro to pick off these Zerglings. I realized I was in a bad situation there, so I'm forced to pull back, but now I can group up with 2 more lings, and he's forced to run away. Look at the income tab. He's actually up by 21 workers, but by 3 workers, but I actually have an expansion much before him. I also have a second queen before him as well. I've started my speed. It's about halfway complete. And whenever you're opening hatchery first versus pool first openings, it's very important that you get this spine at your natural. It's just with this spine, and then eventually a baneling nest, you can defend masses of Lingbane with less Lingbane just by using queens, good positioning on banelings, sending in 2 banelings at a time, and using the spine crawler to target down banelings as well. So as we see here, he's going to run with these Zerglings, try to pick off some drones. He's denied. You can see both of our baneling nests are relatively even as far as like building. Mine's a tiny bit behind, but because I'm playing defensively, that's completely fine. I've already given up that map control, as I said earlier. And actually, no, I'm not. Now, if we look at the production tab, I have 18 Zerglings in production. If we look at the harvester count, I'm down by 6, but I'm basically just going to try to hit this early Lingbane timing. Now, this is something that's pretty smart. I sent out a group of 6 lings. Now, in the ZvZ matchup, because neither player has any real quick ground-to-air aggressive units, namely something like a Hydros that can pop out here and start picking off overlords in the center of the map like this, most Zergs, you're able to basically scout just about every timing that's going to hit. You're able to scout bases with these overlords. Any unit that basically walks out from your opponent's natural should be accounted for and should be scouted. And so I obviously have these 18 lings in production. I have them just sitting here, and most people would say, oh, well, every second they're sitting here, they're unable to really do any damage, do any pressure. But by sending these 6 lings out, morphing banelings beforehand, and then being aggressive with these lings, A, he doesn't know I really have banelings, and B, then I can add these banelings in with my arsenal. And Lingbane is so much more cost-effective to engage with versus Lingbane than just pure Ling, because I would have to continually run from these banelings. But and if I had sent all of these lings out right now, I would have to account for morph time. So by the time I sent these lings out over here, he's obviously already going to be producing banelings. And then I'd have to produce my own banelings when they were rallied outside his natural, and then engage. So I'm basically saving myself a lot of time and making my timing much more effective by sending out these initial 6 lings, getting 1 scout off, morphing 5 banes, and then being aggressive. So as we see here, I scout in with my ling, Just a pretty typical scout. I'm basically trying to scout, see when he takes his Vespian geysers, and he just shows that to me. Not really sure why. Meanwhile, I'm moving out with this. This Ling was also adding as a distraction. I was hoping it wasn't really going to check it out. As we see here, I probably split these Banes up because you never want to clump them. Yep. So there we go. Kill off a few of those Banes. And now I'm able to deselect some Zerglings on top of those. Run a couple Banes into the mineral line. Actually, one more should have connected. But, and then I'm just able to run around. I'm basically looking for drone kills and queen kills. Kill the queen here. All these weak drones should fall, even though he has this Zergling rally. He's also losing a ton of mining time. Looks like he's able to save this queen, but he's lost so many drones because of this timing. And if you look, when I started, I was at 23 drones before this attack hit. Now I'm at 31. I've been droning behind this. So not only has he lost that queen, I've scouted all of his tech. He built these extractors that he had no intention of really using now. But now I have the economic advantage, the drone lead. I'm able to start my own lair, start my Vespian geysers, and basically I just have to play defensive from here. Whenever you're able to hit your opponent with a Ling Bane timing like that, they're going to have excess Zerglings, so you should always expect this and have Banelings prepared, have Queens prepared, Zerglings in production in order to go ahead and stop these timings. So 37 to 23 drone count lead, I'm very far ahead at this point. Now he does a really good job here of actually just targeting this Baneling with 3 Lings, allowing himself to go ahead and have free reign of my main pretty much. So I'm trying to minimize drone count losses. I'm running around with these Zerglings, just trying to buy time in order for these drones to get away. Then engaging with these 2 queens gave me time to get that second Bane into my main. And then I'm able to pull these drones back. But he's actually doing a good job here of rounding a couple Banelings into my mineral line. Lucky for me. Pretty quick reaction time. I'm able to catch it, not take any drone losses. Maybe one. And I still have the economic advantage, even after all of that. On top of that, because I was able to start my lair, I should have a pretty quick spire coming up here soon. Typically, if you don't have a Evo chamber or Roach Warren by this point in the game when your lair completes, you're almost always going to be opening Muta. Because even Infestors use the Evo chamber. And now, look, I have this tech advantage, which is this spire and my lair already complete. I have I'm down by 1 harvester, so that, but in this situation it's completely fine to sacrifice that much tech for 1 harvester. And he's just now starting his lair, so now he has to hit a timing. He has to get this third up before my Mutalisks are out, so he can put spores at it and hold this third. Meanwhile, we're doing this little dance back and forth where I'm getting my own third up, producing Banelings to defend that. And because I scout this third, I always want to pressure it. It's always smart to, instead of right now be droning for your third, you need to have units to defend this third anyway, so you might as well be aggressive with them. So I start pushing across the map here, look at the unit tab. I'm at 18 Lings to 17, it's pretty close. Just got a Baneling in the center of the map, and a lot of this comes down to just really good control. Bad detonation there by him, and that's quite a costly mistake. And now, I'm able to get inside close to his third, pick off his morphing Banelings before they complete, and there's no way he's going to be able to hold this third from this position. Morphing my own Banelings, and because he's down in not only tech, I could start, I've started unit production, or Mutalisk production at this point, 4 Muta. I could have produced more, obviously, with that gas. He doesn't even have a spire started. I've held the third, and I've canceled his third. I'm just ahead in so many different ways that he's kind of recognized there's no possible way for him to pull himself back into this game, and he's forced to GG. All right, guys, thank you very much. Once again, my name is Bryce Machine Bates from Team Evil Geniuses. If you guys like this, you can check out this and more at evilgeniuses.net. Take care.